Let's do Gen 3 now. Chico is already a weird one to start with. Unlike the other grass starters, kind of not really as edible. I guess if I was pressed, I would eat a Trico. Torchic and its evolution's literally just flaming birds. Everyday meals, honestly. Not sure about how edible Mudkip would be. Like their amphibian cousins, poison dart frogs. My puppies are not toxic to touch or eat, though they're quite slimy and unappetizing to most humans. Okay. I'd probably put that under bland or tasteless. I still think Mudkip would probably just be mostly water. They are like most other dog Pokemon, but for some reason, I feel like Poochyena would be a little bit almost unhygienic to eat. Or is that just a very bad assumption on my part? Just because Poochyena kind of comes off as like almost rabid or like angry dog to me. Zigzagoon. I guess they would also just go into emergency rations then. Wurmple and its evolutionary line. As someone who has indeed eaten a silkworm cocoon before, they are indeed edible. I ate a silkworm cocoon once. It wasn't made to be eaten. I just sort of ate it anyway though. I will say though, I don't quite remember how it tastes. I think it kind of just sort of tasted like almost tasteless, honestly. Just like sort of like chewing on silk. So I'll put you in bland / tasteless. Beetlefly is still probably edible. I'm not quite sure about Dustox. Dust is actually a powerful poison that will make even a pro wrestler sick. Okay, so Dustox will probably kill you if you eat it. Lotad, what are you based off of? Is it just Kappas? I'm kinda in between like bland and healthy snack for the Lotad line actually. I feel like I should just put them under bland, actually. Bland or tasteless. C-Dot. These are nuts. Nuts are good for you. They're little healthy snacks. Tailo and Swallow are birds, which means, I don't know, it feels like a lot of, people in the Pokemon world have quite, quite the choice when it comes to poultry. Wingull and Pelipper. Also, just birds. It's birds. We eat birds. They're eating well. Yeah, a lot of poultry. Not really much in terms of like beef or pork. They have some stuff to eat. World Slate I feel like would be mostly on the edible but unethical category, honestly. Yeah. World seems to be based on a young child and the concept of empathy. It'd be kind of fucked up if you ate them. I did used to think as a kid that, I remember just like looking at Ralts as a kid and thinking, oh, it kind of looks like a mushroom. Must be a grass type. Nope. Next is Surskit. Like what, a water strider? Yeah. I feel like Surskit line would also just be kind of bland or tasteless in that they're so small it's like eating nothing. Shroomish, drugs. Just drugs. They produce spores. I'm pretty sure you could trip on those. Slackoth. I feel like you could eat sloths. Outside of a handful of indigenous South American tribes, there isn't much of a tradition eating sloth meat. Researchers who work in Amazonia and have sampled the dish report that it's slimy, chewy, and gamey. I feel like one serving is enough for a lifetime. With any food, personal reactions differ. Okay. If it's slimy, I feel like they just didn't prepare it right then. I'll put it in emergency rations though. Ninkata. Honestly, actually, I'll put Ninkata into emergency rations, but I'll put, Shedinja, you are tasteless. You're just a leftover husk. Next is Whismer. What are you based off of? A rabbit or stuffed animal due its small size and large ears. Ears resemble earmuffs. You guys are a little weird. You guys are just sort of normal type, so it's hard to like really pinpoint what you guys are really actually meant to be, but I think for now I'll put you in emergency rations. Makuhita. Is Makuhita human-shaped enough to be possibly unethical to eat? Yeah, you would probably go into like borderline unethical. Azuro. Azuro's tail is large and bouncy. It's packed full of the nutrients this Pokemon needs to grow. Azuro can be seen bouncing and playing on its big rubbery tail. So probably the tail itself, it would be actually very good for you. So I'll actually put Azuro in healthy snacks. Kind of fucked up to eat it, but I think it's fine. Nose pass, inedible. I think you're just rock. Sketty is emergency food, I'm sorry. Sableye, I will have to look at the Pokedex entry for. I think Sableye is just sort of being meant to be based off like a little goblin little guy. It is corporeal, so it wouldn't be edible. Would you want to eat it though? Its diet is mostly gemstones, so it'd probably be very tough for you to eat. I'll put it in like some parts are edible. A while. Probably honestly put you in emergency rations. I don't know if Aeron it has like a soft inner body, or if it's just entirely made out of steel. Put the Aeron line in the same, in like some parts are edible category. I'd like to think it has like a soft little inner body we can eat. Hard to get to, I guess. Medicham line is questionably ethical. Metric is such a weird looking little guy. Canine Pup shares traits with the Yokai Raiju, an elemental lightning creature that can take the form of various mammals. Okay. Sounds like emergency food to me. +1 Minun. You can also go into emergency food. These two. I don't remember their names, but the Firefly kind of like Pokemon. I do think Fireflies are edible. They can be poisonous, okay. I don't think they'll quite kill you, but they will give you a bad time. So I think I'll just put them in like potentially unhygienic. Roselia. I think you can eat roses. Do you want to though? Beautiful flowers on its arm have toxic thorns. Don't even think about picking those flowers. Poison Roselia seems to be at least very specific to like specific parts of it, so only parts of it are edible then. Gulpin. Do we eat the Pokemon that is known for eating? I think Gulpin is just like meant to be like an stomach basically. So it's definitely edible. Will you have a good time eating it? Probably not, honestly, but I think some people will eat it. Wait, what about the poison? It is a poison type Pokemon. What kind of poison do you produce? Unless it's just like stomach fluid. I mean, it is just basically its own stomach, so I would just put it in everyday meals as tripe. What are Carvana's based off of? What's the name of the animal? Yeah, piranha. Thank you, Zentok. Piranhas are indeed edible. They are commonly eaten by the indigenous people living in the areas of the Amazon. Some animal predators such as river dolphins also feast on piranhas. Okay. Definitely edible. But I do think part of like Carvana's lore is that their skin is very tough. It has a sad history. In the past, its dorsal fin was a treasured foodstuff, and so this Pokemon became a victim of overfishing. So people do eat its dorsal fin at the very least, so it is definitely edible as well, so it'll just stay in everyday meals, I think. Wailmer and Wailord, I just want to understand what whale actually like sort of tastes like, especially in terms of texture. I mean, it's definitely edible, and it might just be a delicacy. This might be like the most controversial stream I've ever done, honestly. Numel. Numel's like a camel. This Pokemon's body is a seething cauldron of boiling magma. Wait, what is your typing? Fireground, okay. The humps on Cameron's back are formed by a transformation of its bones. They sometimes blast out molten magma. That suggests exposed bone? Goddamn, okay. Sounds painful, honestly. I think it's definitely edible though. I'll put it on like some parts are edible. Like if it has like some volcano inside its body, then I would imagine that would mean that it's like inner organs must have like some sort of very tough, heat-resistant lining to them, which might make them very tough to eat. But typically in camels, their humps, like store water and fat and stuff, so if you just get rid of the organs, I think it would be fine to eat. Next is torkoal. I mean, it's a fire turtle. It's a fire turtle. I feel like it's very edible. I think I put you in like emergency rations. Next is Spoink and Grumpig. They are pigs. Yeah, they can just go in everyday meals. It's pig. It's pork. And, I mean, I guess you could eat it. I don't think you should. What is the pinch line based off of? Larval stage of the antlion. Doesn't say anything about eating antlions, which I guess makes sense. I guess no one has done like a study on the edibility of antlions then. Actually, I'll honestly put them in bland or tasteless. Probably taste like eating sand. Like when you don't clean out like seashells properly. Or like other like unilabs. So they don't like dispel like the sand that's in their bodies. Probably tastes like super grimy like that. Cagny and Cacturn. I think I'll put them in everyday meals, honestly. Swap blue. It is a bird. However, it does look like a cloud. It keeps saying about how its wings are like cottony clouds. I'm not sure if they're like would actually taste like clouds. Probably not. I do feel like if any Gen 3 Pokemon would taste like junk food, it would be just Swablu. Zangoose, I feel like I would put into emergency rations, but Seviper... I do like me some Snake. Snake is quite delicious. I'll put you in, honestly, everyday meals. Monotone and Solrock, I think, literally are just rocks, so I think they're pretty much inedible. Next is Barboach and Wishcash. These guys are definitely just edible. Simply edible. Corefish... I'm pretty sure a corefish. Some sort of lobster. You look more like lobster than... Actually, yeah, I guess you could be a crawfish, so everyday meals. Baltoy and Claydol. I guess they are probably just mostly just made of clay, so I'll put them in inedible. I think this one is called Lileep. It does look like there are some species of anemones that are edible. That being said, I don't think you want to eat a Lileep unless you really need to, so I'll put you in emergency rations. Anorath, you look edible. You look totally edible. You look like a trilobite. I'm pretty sure you can eat trilobites, honestly. I'll put you in everyday meals, honestly. Feebas and Lotic. Lotic does kind of look like an eel. I think they're definitely both edible at least. Yeah, I'll just put Feebas in everyday meals, I think. Feebas cast form is personification of the weather. I feel like cast form would literally have the body of a cloud though. Alters its form depending on the weather, changes in the climate such as temperature and the humidity appear to affect its cellular structure. I think you would actually be more like bland or tasteless. Kecleon... Put you in emergency rations. Shuppet is like a discarded like doll basically. I think I would just put them in under an edible then. I think Duskull is just incorporeal, so I think it's just physically impossible to eat them. Therefore, inedible. Atropius. The bananas on Tropius's neck is at least edible. I'm not sure about the rest of it. Pokemon loves fruit, eats it continuously. Love for fruit results in... I think it'd be actually quite healthy. Tropius would be a healthy snack. Its fruit is healthy, its diet seems to be fruit as well, which is a little bit weird, but it'd be very good for you, I think. I think it's Chimecho. I don't think you're edible at all. To say a lot of these Pokedex entries that its body is pretty hollow, so it's kind of surprising that Chimecho isn't a steel type, so I think for now I'll actually put it in bland or tasteless. Absol? I think I'll just put, Absol in emergency rations for now. Why not? Similar are you to Wobbuffet in terms of physiology? Does eat a lot of fruit. I think why not would actually be almost like junk food then. Snowrunt? Gailey's? I'm pretty sure Gailey's, like, Japanese name is actually like a pun on onigiri, so survives only eating snow and ice. Snowworm line I think would be edible, but wouldn't really taste like much if it only eats ice and snow, so Spheal, I'm sorry. Clam Pearl, I'm pretty sure you can eat these little guys actually. I kinda don't understand how Clam Pearl evolves into I kinda understand how it evolves at all into these eelish Pokemon. Clam Pearl's appearance and evolved form could suggest that it could also be based on rowdy eggs of fish and other marine animals. I see. Yeah, that entire line is just very edible, I guess. Relicanths. Coelacanths are inedible, their flesh sickens people. Okay. So I'll just put them under inedible then. It won't kill you, but it will make you sick. Love Disc? What is Love Disc supposed to be based off of? Discus fish. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. You can't eat discus fish, actually. I have before, I'm pretty sure. Simply fish. Actually, I do remember talking about this before when we were playing Pokemon Ranger, how edible Bagon is. I just feel like they're just very generally edible. And totally not because, I thought as a kid, Bagon was like somehow a reference to the word bacon. So I'm just gonna put you in emergency rations, I guess. Beldum, pretty sure I cannot eat that line, inedible. Reggie's also very much inedible. Cannot eat Regice. Cannot eat Reggie Steel. Actually, if Regice is just ice, then I guess theoretically you could eat it. Unless you have something weird in your physiology. Deep frozen body can't be melted even by fire. Controls frigid air minus 328 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. If it can't melt, then can't eat it, I guess. Okay. Latios and Latias. Don't quite remember the lore between like Latios and Latias, honestly. Yeah, if they're based on birds, theoretically edible. Definitely not everyday meal though. Next is Kyogre. I feel like you can eat them. Would it be easy to? Probably not. What about Groudon? I guess theoretically, Groudon is also edible. Theoretically, could you eat it? Would you ever get the chance to eat it? Probably not. Which is why they're gourmet. I feel like Rayquaza would also be edible. Absolutely gourmet. It would probably taste like god tier eel, honestly. Space eel. Jirachi is very baby. Jirachi appears to be based on the concept of wishing upon a star. Practice of making a wish while observing meteors in the night sky. If it is a literal, like, shooting star, then I would say that Jirachi would be inedible then. It is steel type, so it does fit there. Deoxys. Deoxys is like alien DNA. The DNA of a space virus underwent a sudden mutation upon exposure to a laser beam, resulted in Deoxys. First line organ on this Pokemon's chest appears to be brain. Sounds like radiation. I feel like if you ate Deoxys, you would grow a second arm or a third arm. So you're going and eating this will kill you. Okay, I think this is a good... Yeah, this is a good ranking for third gem then, I think.